What's going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome to this. What's today? Tuesday. Welcome to this Tuesday afternoon stream on Crosstalks Live, talking about some movie news. So let's go ahead and get right on to it. All right. So as I said, we got some movie news going on. Sorry about that echo there. I just had to make sure it was working. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get right on to it. First up, we've got um, Marvel has delayed and not delayed. I was looking at the wrong camera there. Delayed, not delayed, canceled, brought back, whatever it may be with Blade. And oh man, even Mahershala Ali himself is getting tired of it. Mahershala Ali gives unfortunate update, not an update, an unfortunate update on MCU Blade delay. So let's check out what he had to say. A Blade movie starring the Oscar winner Mahershala Ali seemed like as much of a slam dunk as anything in the MCU, but after delays and departures and tests of the star's patience, it still seems to be nowhere. And now I didn't cover it, but I think like 2, 3, 4 days ago, there's an article saying that like it's back on track, and then now he's like, yeah, nah, it's just not happening, bro. 6 years after Ali was brought out on stage at San Diego Comic Con to announce his role as Blade in the Blade as a role in a Blade film, which is the main role. The actor is given an update that suggests the movie remains stuck despite him still being up for playing the part. Ali is now starring in Jurassic World Rebirth, comes out next week worldwide, and asked for a red carpet interview a couple times about Blade. Call Marvel, he told Variety, I'm ready. Let him know when I'm ready. I would love for it to happen. We'll see. I don't know where Marvel is right now, he told THR. There's only ever going to be one Blade. And it's not Mahershala Ali. Sorry, dude. The fact that the star does not appear to be looped into whatever's going on with the film is not promising. Blade is not slated for any release date, and the film has now lost two directors since 2022. Years ago, the movie was supposed to be out in November 2023. Then it was pushed to November 2025. Now it's been pushed off a cliff, seemingly. Another bit of news that made its way this week with the writer of the original Blade, David S. Goyer, commented on Delayed, even saying he tried to help Marvel out himself but was rebuffed. In my mind, I think Blade is a relatively simple story. Goyer said on the Happy Sad Confused podcast. It's not complicated, and I always think when you embark on a movie like this, you have to distill down what the promise of the movie is. It should have insane ass kicking. It should be pretty scary, might be R rated, and it doesn't have to be. It should not be complicated. And speaking to Variety, I had my agent call Marvel and say, "Do you guys need any help?" And they said, "We love you, but we think we've cracked it now, and we're in a good place." And the latest thing happened, so no, they haven't contacted me. This is the original writer, David S. Goyer, still talking. David S. Goyer wrote all three movies. Okay, so with this is what I was making reference to, and there's only ever going to be one Blade, Mahershala Ali, or Wesley Snipes. But I think Mahershala Ali knows more than he's letting on. I think that they've now made it like the Blade brand that there's always issues with it, and I think that they do have something cracked, and they're playing along with it of the thing that they created. And I think he'll be in Secret Wars or Doomsday or one of them. I think he's playing it off like he doesn't know what's going on, but I think he knows what's going on. So with that, go ahead and let me know down below. What do you think about his updates? Do you think he's lying? Do you think he's telling the truth? Is he trying to pull an Andrew Garfield on us? What do you think he's doing or saying? And do you think it will ever happen? If he truly doesn't know what's going on, I think it's just not going to happen. They're going to move forward with either a different project or they'll have him in on an ensemble one. Like I would love to see Midnight Suns first over a Blade movie. I think those characters don't get enough recognition, and I think you could do a lot of cool things with it. Bring in Scott Derrickson from Doctor Strange to do the Midnight Suns movie, make it that horror theme, and then I think it would be awesome. I think it'd be fantastic. So anyway, but let me know what you think about Mahershala Ali updating us on the Blade MCU project. Okay, next up in Star Wars land. Oh no, I fudged up. All right, well there's hold on. Let me go back to it because I accidentally messed that up. Okay, there we go. In Star Wars land, Dakota Johnson is rumored to be starred or to be eyed for a role in the franchise. One of the materialistic stars might be soon joining the galaxy far, far away, and that's in addition to Pedro Pascal, who took a break from playing dad to Grogu in The Mandalorian to star Celine Song's sophomore film. Okay, blah 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 blah. Industry insider Daniel Rickman, aka Daniel RPK, who often reports about the behind the scenes going on in Hollywood, shared the exclusive Star Wars scoop with his subscribers on Twitter. A report from the Gazette revealed that the details, the extent of which seemed to be that Lucasfilm is considering Dakota Johnson, for an upcoming Star Wars project. There is no word yet on whether talks have ever happened or happening, or which film or TV series she could be a part of, or the character that she might end up playing, but more likely will surface if she decides to accept. Okay, so real quick, I think I'm gonna look up who I think it's gonna be. If you're here, if you're watching, let me know down below, who do you think Dakota Johnson's gonna be playing. I have an idea, and I'm gonna pull it up right now. Um, okay, let me see if I can get an image. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I don't have Twitter, so let me see if it'll go there. Okay. I think Dakota Johnson will play Abeloth. I think that's the role that she's been asked to be. So whether or not she accepts or not, who knows? But Abeloth is the mother of the Wills, and she's the evil one. And so there's the father, the son, the daughter, and then like the father's the middle that does both, and then the daughter's the good, the son's the bad, and then the mom is just like straight up all bad. So I think I think Dakota Johnson could probably play a pretty creepy chick. I was gonna say something worse, but look, I think it could happen. Honestly, I do. So there was rumors that maybe Shin from Ahsoka was gonna become the mother. I think if this Dakota Johnson rumor is true, I absolutely 100% think that Dakota Johnson will be Abeloth in Ahsoka season 2 and potentially in the movies. So go ahead and let me know down below what you think about Dakota Johnson in Star Wars itself, and what do you think about my theory that she would play Abeloth, the mother, in Ahsoka season 2? Let's see what else this article says though. Johnson's first role. Okay, so nothing too crazy. Okay, it remains to be seen whether Johnson would consider adding a major franchise such as Star Wars to her filmography. She has been quite outspoken about Hollywood as of late, suggesting that the film industry is a bit of a mess because studios prefer to play it safe and keep remaking the same things rather than commissioning original ideas. She shared her frank assessment of the system during a recent appearance on Hot Ones, where Sean Evans asked her in a Hollywood risk averse, prompting very candid response. I think it's hard when to. Okay, we don't really need to read all that. So basically, she doesn't know where she wants to be in Hollywood right now. She doesn't like the way that Hollywood has gone. No really original stuff. Or it's weird. A lot of these Hollywood stars are saying that they want us to see original, like us, the audience, to see original movies. But then you have a movie like Pixar, or a movie like Pixar, a movie like Elio, which is Pixar's newest original, and it's the worst opening Pixar's ever had. So do people truly just want to see original films? I like all movies. I'll go see anything, original, sequel, prequel, whatever. I just like movies. But it is interesting because it seems that with the animation, we want more sequels, but when it comes to the live action stuff, we're like, okay, guys, like let's make original stuff. Unfortunately, most of the original stuff goes to freaking Netflix or Disney Plus or Max or whatever, and then just the original content aspect ends up becoming like, oh, like that's just a streaming movie, like what straight to DVD was. So it that's kind of messed with the brand quite a bit, which is unfortunate. But anyways, we're here to talk about Dakota Johnson in Star Wars. So what do you think about that? Go ahead and let me know down below. And what do you think about her potentially being Abeloth, the role that I am predicting she was offered? Let me know all that in the comments. All right, let me get this next one pulled up here. A little bit of a shorter news day today. I got two more articles. One I kind of already led into earlier when I messed up. But here we go. Some Superman news. Early screenings reveal Superman's opening scene continues a big trend stealing from Star Wars. So I just talked about Star Wars with Dakota Johnson, and I actually didn't even plan it out like that. Superman flies into theaters in less than a month, and James Gunn's new movie is expected to be a box office triumph. Starring David Cornsweet as the Man of Steel, the film visually and totally influenced by Christopher Reeve's tenure as a character, beginning with Superman in 1978. It's actually called Superman the Movie, and ending with Superman 4: The Quest for Peace in 1987. But Gunn's Superman will have more in common with Reeves' beloved films than initially thought, as well as pulling from a vast library of DC comics, including All-Star Superman. Gunn is also following the trend of Superman pulling from other major Star Wars or major sci-fi franchise Star Wars. According to the outlet, the DC Universo DC, the opening scene of James Gunn's Superman will be heavily inspired by George Lucas's Star Wars as the first movie in the new DCU. Superman will have lots of contextual establishing to do, and James Gunn has chosen to give audiences the necessary background info using something similar to the Star Wars iconic text scroll. The report revealed that Superman opens with a text introduction that sets up the film and a wider DCU. Okay, so this actually makes like a lot of sense to me. I believe it was Superman 3. They had a Star Wars style credits. It wasn't necessarily like a background or like a plot driven narrative. It was just the credits that went in the style of the Star Wars crawl from bottom to top. And in Superman Returns, they didn't have necessarily a crawl, but they did have a, a a paragraph or whatever that says like, oh, this is where Superman's been, this is what's happened recently, blah blah. So it was just like in a straight text. It wasn't in a crawl format. So, but with this in particular, it does make sense because it's taking inspiration from. I think he's taking inspiration from all the movies. It was called Superman Legacy at one point, and I think James Gunn put that into from all the Supermen into this movie, in that this is the legacy of this is the new Superman paying homage and having the legacy of the other ones, all the good and all the bad, within just this one character, this one movie. I think that's why it was originally titled Superman Legacy. Maybe it wasn't. That's just my own personal thoughts. But it would also make sense, as I was saying, that it would take inspiration from the other Superman movies, from having the crawl style. That's Star Wars, but as I said, Superman 3, they had a crawl style. I'm pretty sure it's Superman 3. They had a crawl style of the credits. And then so to do that and then blend it with Star Wars, it makes a lot of sense. And especially because apparently metahumans and superheroes have lived in this world for 300 years. And what that tells me is that we're going to see maybe flashbacks or maybe alternate scenes of Hawkgirl, because she gets reincarnated every time she dies. So she's probably lived this life once or twice, or maybe this is her third go around. So she's been around for a long time. I think they don't have like the memories and everything when they come back, but I think they could do something to where they would get their memories at some point, somehow, some way. Um, so with there being characters and creatures and monsters, gods and monsters, that's what the chapter's called, chapter one. For 300 years, it makes total sense that they would do a crawl or like a segment where they just explain what's going on, where we are, and stuff like that. So I like it. I like the idea. If you had told me about a month or two ago, maybe 3 months ago, I'd say like, oh, okay, like what else is new? These guys just copying something else. But no, it makes total sense. I love the crawl style of Star Wars, of course, and I'm interested to see how it will look in the modern times with whatever font they choose. In the movie, I'm sorry, excuse me, in the trailers, they've been going with the style of the classic Superman, like the bubble words. So I'm curious if they're going to do that or change the style, and if the music is going to be similar or if it's going to be completely new. So it has me curious, and it has my attention. So I am looking forward to that and seeing just what that's like. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. But from what I hear and what the context of the movie that we have so far, I think it makes perfect sense. Back to the article now. While some fans might be confused as to why Superman is pulling from Star Wars given their major differences in genre, the DC Comics franchise has a long history of stealing from George Lucas's seminal sci-fi series. Richard Donner's Superman, the movie released in 1978, was heavily influenced by Star Wars: A New Hope. Aside from the most obvious example, John Williams composing both films, there are many other instances of Superman pulling from Star Wars' success. Several props from A New Hope appeared in Superman, and Christopher Reeve even turned to Darth Vader himself. David Prowse to bulk up to play the Man of Steel. I wouldn't say working out with somebody is stealing, but okay. Superman begins with the Star Wars. Okay, this is just home of the DCU, just talking about it. So no pictures of what it looks like or anything like that. So with that, that's basically the end of the article there. So what do you guys think? This is still a really cool poster, by the way. What do you guys think about the Superman movie starting with a crawl? Are you excited for it? Do you not care? Do you think it's copying? Do you kind of have my side on it where it's like, okay, they got 300 years of superheroes in history. They got to explain something somehow, some way. Let me know all that down below. And as I said, it's going to be a shorter stream today. In our last article, we have something that I'm not looking forward to. Get ready for more commercials in the movie theaters. Industry leader AMC Theaters is reversing course and joining its rivals on July 1st, adding regular ads to its pre-movie lineup in a worrisome trend for studios. This is a big no-no. This sucks, dude. There's already too many trailers. I think the most you should have is 5 to 6 trailers, all around 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes at the most. Make it a 10 to 12 minute thing, and then that's it. We don't need 25 minutes of trailers plus 5 minutes of ads. Like it's ridiculous. If you want to make more money, cut that stuff and then up the pricing of your concessions. I would do that. I mean, Jesus. For decades, there have been no better way for Hollywood marketers to drum up interest in the films than to play trailers for thousands of fans settled in their seats at cinemas across the country, waiting for the main attraction to begin. But this age-old tradition has been disrupted by an aggressive push to sprinkle in a sampling of commercials between trailers and the regular parade of supplemental spots, promoting concessions and rules of the road, as in no texting. Yeah, like I've noticed too, especially at Regal, they'll show like 3 or 4 trailers, and then they'll have a commercial for Indeed. And then they'll show 3 or 4 more trailers. Like, what? If you want to have a commercial for Indeed, fine, but have it at the very beginning or the very end, and then just get to the movie. Like, I hate going to the movies and sitting there, and it's like, oh, okay, like the movie hasn't even started, and we're 35 minutes in. Like, what did I even come to see again? I forget now because I've seen so many trailers. Consumers and commercials. Consumers, thanks to reserved seating and realizing there's no need to show up at the stated time if the actual movie may not begin until 20 or 30 minutes later. Yeah, so exactly. With that too, if you guys want people sitting there through the trailers, what you have to do then, which you can't do now because the genie's out of the bottle, you have to get rid of reserved seating and force people to go back. I kind of like that. I liked when there was no reserved seating because it added to the experience of just going to the movies and waiting and building up more anticipation, seeing everybody come in line together, seeing your friends randomly be like, oh, we're at the same theater, and then all that, and then just and talking about it, theorizing. What do you think is going to happen? I don't know. I think this is going to happen because this, and that. Where do you think it's going to go next? I don't know. What do you think the post credits going to be? I don't know. Do you think the movie's going to be good, bad? It just having to wait in line for the most I've ever waited in line for was, oh man, 15 hours. Was it 15 hours? 6, 12. No, 14 hours. Sorry. Most I waited in line was 14 hours. And was it a long day? Yes. Was it a fun day? Yes. Did I get to see the movie earlier than most audiences? Also, yes. Anytime I ever went and waited in line, even if it was a movie that I wasn't that fond of, I still enjoyed it because I enjoyed hearing everybody else around talking about it. And just that adds to the experience that reserve seating has now taken away. It's nice with reserve seating because you can be like, okay, cool, we got our seats. We don't have to worry about maybe going to dinner first and then having them rush us at the theater at the restaurant so that we can get to the theater and get good seats. So it's definitely a catch-22, but at the same time, like I was saying, I think no reserve seats adds to the experience, and it just made it better. But that's not for everybody. That's just for me. But let's go back to the article now. For decades, there's been no better way for Hollywood marketers to drum up interest in playing trailers. Okay. Oh yeah. Wait. I'm sorry. I just read that. The erosion has been in the years in the making. In September of 2019, not long before COVID-19 struck, Cinemark Theaters and Regal Cinemas, the 2 largest theater chains behind AMC Theaters, signed a landmark deal with ad company National Cinemedia. National Cinemedia to show as much as 5 minutes of commercials after a movie's official start time, and then air a 30 to 60 second platinum spot before one or the last 2 trailers. Retail partners have included the likes of Jeep, Elf Cosmetics, Google, and Cook among the number of top brands. At the time, NCM CEO Tom Lazinski, you know what it is, said it was the most significant strategic announcement since the company was founded in 2003. No, it's not. Prior to that, NCM was relegated to playing commercials for the official showtime. He also suggested said market leader AMC active talks to join the initiative. It fast turned into a boxing match. AMC issued a terse denial hours later, saying that it flatly rejected the idea because of its concerns that U.S. moviegoers would react quite negatively to the concept. As we have, especially at AMC, bro, they have literally, they have like 6 or 7 trailers. That already there is at least 20 minutes. Then they have 3 of their own ads. They have the stupid Coke AMC ad, then they have the Nicole Kidman one, then they have the thanks for visiting AMC, be sure to join A-List. They have 3 of their own ads on top of 20 to 30 minutes of trailers. It's so annoying, and to add on to that, more ads for more different companies that have nothing to do with the movie. Oh man, I go to AMC as a last resort because their seats suck. They recline, but they only recline halfway. It's terrible. The AMC near me is smaller, so it's not even that good. There's not even like an IMAX screen. They have like the laser or whatever, so that's kind of okay, but there's no Dolby one. They, like I said, they have the 30 minutes of trailers. They have the 3 ads for themselves. Like, why am I watching 3 advertisements of a movie chain, of the movie chain that I'm already in? It makes no sense, and it's so annoying. It's literally the last resort. The last resort. If I have to go there, I'll be honest. A lot of times, I just choose to go to a movie a different day. But they're only making it worse now. They had the right idea in 2019, and now apparently they just, I don't know, they got abducted by aliens and were replaced with one that can fit Lazinski over here, their agenda. Continuing, AMC, the country's largest chain, has said it has no plans to introduce commercial advertising close to the state-of-the-art movie's commencement at its theaters in the United States, nor does AMC envision entering into such arrangement with NCM anytime in the foreseeable future. But times change, and AMC's facing financial pressure in reversing course. Our competitors have fully participated in more than 5 years without any direct impact to their attendance. That's a bullshit lie. That is a fucking lie. Year by year, movie theater chains are being declined in their attendance. That is a lie, bro. AMC said in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter earlier this month, the chain added the new deal between AMC and NCM allows both companies to drive new revenues to offset the impact of being hit by the shutdown of cinemas due to the COVID-19 pandemic, followed by an at times faltering Hollywood industry recovery since the reopening of theaters and advertising being affected by the macroeconomic headwinds. Okay. Yeah, this paragraph is just a complete load of bullshit. The deal takes place July 1st. Okay, so fantastic. Just in time for Superman and all the July fun movies, we get to see more advertisements. That's awesome. I love it. I can't wait. I love advertisements. I don't go to the movies to watch movies. I go to the movies to watch advertisements. This is actually going to draw me into the movies more. Not. Okay, what do you think about this stupidity from AMC theaters and also the other movie theaters too? Like I said, the genie has gone out of the bottle with the reserved seating, and the genie is now out of the bottle with advertisements. They will always take more advertisements for more money than just doing something different, making deals to draw people in more, doing like promotional boxes for concessions or whatever it may be. So I'm very disappointed in them. And again, the genie's out of the bottle. It's going to get to a point in maybe 20 years where there's like 1 or 2 trailers for a movie and the rest are advertisements, or they'll be in the middle of a trailer and show an advertisement or something and be like, oh, now back to the trailer. So that's going to really suck. But let me know down below your thoughts on everything about this article for more commercials in the movie theaters. And with that, that is it for today. Pretty slow movie news day. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back on in about an hour to do maybe like 30 minutes to do some UFC news live. So be sure to join me there for that. And with that, I will see you guys in the, I was going to say in the next one. I'm used to recording video. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which will be for movies specifically, will be tomorrow. Actually, no, tonight on this channel, I will be doing a live stream for Ultimate Fighter episode 5 if you would want, if you're part of the MMA crew. And I will also be doing a watch party of all 3 Ironheart episodes that release tonight. They release earlier in the day, but I work till 11, and then I come back. I do the Ultimate Fighter, and then so I'll be doing it around 12:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, technically. So tonight going into tomorrow. If you want to come by for a watch party of the Ironheart show. With that, that's your movie news for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.